Living out the good life, yeah. I ain't gotta worry about a thing. Oh no. Had some obstacles I overcame. Oh yeah. You don't have to ever be the same. Oh Lord. Cause when we change the mind, we change the game. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch. Coming through clutch.
What is going on, y'all? What's going on? It is Thursday, December 9th. Welcome to another episode on the Kenneth Allen Thomas Show with my co-host, my man Nick Mingle. Guy is not here right now. Guy is having some technical difficulties right now, everybody. So we pray that he can jump in as soon as he can, as soon as he gets that worked out. But listen, yo, what is going on, everyone? Listen, chime in with the chat. If you are just now joining us, if you're watching this right now, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and share this with your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your grandpa, abuela, abuelo. Share this joint with everybody right now because we got a hot topic tonight, y'all. Nick, we got a hot topic, bro. We got a hot topic.
They're not ready.
I don't know if they're ready, bro. I don't know if they're ready. But listen, real quick before we jump into it, yo. What's been going on, bro? How was your day so far, bro?
Today's been crazy. You know, we talk about faith, family, fatherhood. It's been one of them days where that's all been rocking, you know. So I am thankful for this time right now to be able to just get together with you, have some conversation. And as soon as this is over, brother's going to get something to eat, take a nap, maybe watch some football, but I might not because I'm tired. But we're going to do it right.
Yes, sir. And check this out. Right on time. Bam. My boy guy. Here we go.
GQ extraordinaire.
Hey, you already know. Hey,
wow.
Hey, the devil can't hold you back, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
wow.
We hear you, dog.
Yeah, we hear you.
Man, it's been a crazy day, man. Crazy day.
Listen, it's all good. You hear, you know what I'm saying?
Appreciate y'all.
Listen, you know we're going to hold it down for you. Now, listen up, everyone. Anybody that's watching right now, let me know where you guys are chiming in from. We want to shout you guys out. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube and everything right now, if you are Tamia Houston is in the house tonight, everybody.
Yes,
so
Tamia.
Shout out to Tamia. Listen, wherever you guys watch, if you're watching this replay and everything as well, make sure you go ahead and share this out. Somebody's going to need this. Tonight, guys, we talking about college. We talking about, you know, the next step in a young man or a young woman's life. Now, we all got kids. All right, we all got kids. My man Nate Lawrence, salute my dude. We all got kids, and I want to bring this up. I hit you guys yesterday with it, with a meme that I saw of Elon Musk, right? And what was amazing is the response that I got when I put this up. He basically said that, you know, you can't get a $10,000 loan for a kid that's 18, but you'll give a kid $100,000 student loan for college and something that they can't pay back. And 9 times out of 10, you know, I'm not sure what the statistics are, but 9 times out of 10, you know, a lot of these people, they don't even finish college, or they get halfway through. Life happens, things happen, and they fall into debt. You know, so listen, you both graduated college. I didn't. I took a path where I went in for a little bit and I said, you know what? I want to dance. I want to go out and I want to live my life and do things that way. But you guys have went to college, and we're going to jump into this conversation, and we're going to actually chime in from some of the audience and everything as well too. Now, you guys got kids. Nick, I'm going to start off with you. What are some of the goals and plans that you have for your children and everything, you know, moving forward once they graduate high school?
So the reality is, you know, both of my kids are, you know, dancers right now. So I'm not sure what the college situation is going to look like. I'm not sure if, you know, because they're into the performing arts, I'm not sure if they're going to go to college, or if maybe they're going to go to a performing arts college specifically, you know, or if they're going to go to a performing arts school and not necessarily deal with the whole educational system, you'll say, of college, but more performing arts, you know, education, so that they can then start to transition into their career, you know. So I'm not really sure, you know. I mean, my youngest one right now, she's still trying to figure it out, but she seems to be into soccer, so she might go to college, but you know, that might be on like a sports scholarship or something like that, but the truth is my wife and I, we are open to whatever opportunities become available for them rather than pushing the point of college or bust, because we're definitely not in that camp of college or bust. We want them to get their education. We want them to, to have knowledge, but we understand that comes in many forms. And, a formal 4-year education at an accredited university is not necessarily the only path, So even though my wife and I went to college and we got our degrees, we get it. We understand. I went, got my master's. I get it. I completely understand. But I'm not driving my kids to that unless that's the path that's laid before them. Because at the end of the day, God has the final say. And if God says it's a different path, I got to yield to that.
Right. So, but let me ask you this though. All right. So let me ask you this: what's the bare minimum? What's like the mandatory in your household? Like, what's the you're not gonna go to college, but what's the bare minimum that they gotta do? What's the requirement in the Mingle household for them?
Man, they gotta figure something out. You know what I'm saying? Like what they not gonna do, is sit and chill at home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not about that. Like if you living at home, that's because you're doing something and you need me to help support you while you're doing something. But what you're not gonna do is just sit at home. So if it's that you're gonna go work, you better pick a good job and make it happen. If it ain't that, then you going to college. If it ain't that, then you going to perform in art school. But you go and do something. It ain't gonna be laying up in a room sitting on my couch. That's not happening.
You gonna do something.
Yeah, you gonna do something.
I heard that. Guy, let me pass it to you, bro. Let me pass it to you. What's your thoughts on, you went to college and everything, graduated as well too. What's your thoughts on a career path and everything for your daughter and your son?
I feel like Sienna and Gavin are going to chart their own path, right? I feel like my children have already kind of shown me different personality traits that allow me to understand which one is kind of more into school, right?
Yeah.
And my daughter is my athlete. Yes, she's into school, but I think her interest lies elsewhere. And so while she talks her major being pediatrics, and her seeing her parents, both her parents get their master's degree and surrounded by people that are educators, right? So her vision is school, but her passion may be somewhere else. Mm-hmm. My son came up to me the other day with this little car, right? And it was broken apart. It was just the inside of the car. And I was like, well, what you playing with there? He said, it's inside of a car. I'm going to go downstairs and make something with it, right? His little mind is already moving. He's great in science. He's great in those types of things that personally I wasn't, interested in when I was younger. And he loves school, right? He hates missing. So those traits like that, like hate missing school and wanting to be there and just the passion for it is
school. Wow. Yeah.
He's something else, right? My daughter is great, but she may be great at something else. I feel like I got, both their parents got their master's degree, but again, like Nick said, I'm not pressing them or pushing them in one direction or the other. Mm-hmm. My personal feeling on it is it not only so job or career path is not guaranteed, right?
Right.
But it gives you access, right?
Okay.
And access is really underrated when it comes to college degrees and things like that.
Access like what? What do you mean like access? Elaborate on that. Like access like as in you get connections like to
I think when I graduated from college, right? When I graduated from college, it opened doors that wouldn't be open to me in a professional realm if I didn't have these degrees. Yes, networking is important, but I think that those degrees played a part in how I was gonna, I guess, to what degree I was gonna play, what degree I was going to be engaged with politics and entrepreneurship and things like that, right? Okay. You can do that without a degree for sure, 100%. I do know and agree that you can do that, but I think from my personal experiences, it's been crazy because like working at a university,
Right.
That was a door that was open, and they looked kindly upon my degree being from Rutgers.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, I think, the thing that a degree helps you do is it helps to support aspects of credibility that you don't have to try to prove coming in the door, because people can say, okay, however you got here, it shows that you have a degree that gives you some level of credibility. After that, you still got to do what you got to do, but unlike Guy, what I'm saying, like with me, my situation was a little bit different because I graduated and yes, I had my degree and I did have a job lined up, but I also had family issues that I had to deal with, right? Yeah. So once I took care of those family issues, it was almost like, because I didn't immediately jump on doing what I needed to do with my degree, it's almost like all those opportunities kind of fell through. Then at that point, it was based on my relationships and my connections to get me back into the process, so that's the tricky thing about it. It's almost like even when you get your bachelor's, you get your master's, you get your PhD, whatever it is, it's almost like there's a short window between from when you graduate and you get your degree as to when you can actually leverage it to get a job, because after that, it's all about what you know and it's about who you know. So it's very difficult when you talk about something, you got to go to school. Yeah, you got to go to school to kind of get you in the door if you're going to use it immediately after to get in the door. But if you don't immediately after,
that's the thing. Like a lot of people are not going to, like, I got a friend who has an economics degree, right? And he could not get a job anywhere once he graduated from Seton Hall, and he couldn't get a job, on Wall Street or anything like that. So it was like he got the degree, but then again, he didn't have the connections to get himself, in the door with a job. So what good is the actual degree if you don't have the connections, to get the job as well too? What does someone do then where I got this degree and I've got multiple degrees, but I can't get a job because I don't have the connects?
I don't know nobody. Yeah, I don't know nobody. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think the reality is this: you got to look past the degree.
Okay.
The question is, what did you learn while you were in school? Because what you learned while you were in school, it comes back to you at some point when you are then in your profession. You start to realize the things that you learned. It's no different than any other, any form of education that you get, right? It's never about the certificate that they give you. Think about it. Anybody that even has their high school diploma, you don't pay attention to your high school diploma when you're trying to figure out how to pay your bills. You know what I'm saying? But what you do remember is what your math teacher taught you about adding and subtracting and dividing and, rounding that one over, you know what I'm saying? Because that 100 now becomes 85 and you trying to figure it out, right? That all that balancing that you did there, that's what comes into play, right? When you got to go and you're trying to read books, you go to Starbucks and they got all these words up there and you're just like, I ain't never heard of a grande macchiato latte, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't heard that until I was like 24, bro. I'm
right.
Like, what is that? Grande, what?
You know what I'm saying? Right. So now you got to start using those accents and things like that you learned in English class, but you're not thinking about your high school degree. So it's the same thing with a college diploma. You know what I'm saying? Right. You're not thinking about the degree itself. You're thinking about what kind of things you learn and how you can apply them, because those are the things that help you on the job, rather than being in a position at the job where you like, I don't really know that I should be here, but all right, somebody that gave me an opportunity, so I'm gonna try to take it and soak it up. You at least have the knowledge going in to a certain extent. Again, I'm not gonna give a degree more credit than it deserves, but it gives you a little bit of that confidence and that assurance.
So check this out here, right? So Elon Musk, guys, he said the fact that an 18-year-old can't take out a $10,000 business loan, but can take out a $100,000 student loan tells you everything you need to know. And I think like it's pretty profound, right there, because let's say someone wants to start a business. Okay. Let's say you don't want to go to college. Maybe you have a really cool business idea and you want to start that business. Well, some people may say the likelihood of that business being successful is slim to none, right? Because it's your first business. You may not be widely successful with this business, but then you got to beg different, because there are kids that are under the age of 18 that have already started a business, much like the young man that started the clothing line Spurgo clothing line, and he's over here in Philly, So this kid is 15. He started when he was 12, and he started with a pack of 12 t-shirts, went to different barbershops, sold all of his stuff, saved up his birthday money, bought more product, and kept redoing it over and over and over again, right? So he had a business model to go out and sell what it is that he wanted to sell. And now he's partnered with Damon John, which is the original owner of FUBU. Yep. So Damon John bought into his company just recently on Shark Tank. So here you have two different cases where you got a 15-year-old kid that's making well over $1 million in his business versus a kid that's 18 about to be $100,000 in debt with no job. And now, like you said, Nick, family issues, things hit, life hits, things happen. Now you're $100,000 in debt because things happen. What's the higher risk to you guys? Like in today's age, in the modern world, what's the higher risk? Is it a higher risk to take the $100,000 loan or the $10,000? Like what would you suggest in this particular case?
I think the $100,000 student loan is the higher risk because when we talk about after college, there being no guarantee, the risk to reward is, you know what I mean? Like the risk to reward is ridiculous. Like I can't say that like I said, like when you're not guaranteed a position after, and you don't even know how, even if you get a position, you don't know how much they're going to be paying you and how much you're going to be able to pay on that student loan, right? The $10,000 business loan is just like anything else is based on potential, right? Potential of your product, potential of your clients, and like you just gave an example, right? The young man personifies that hustle and that grind, right? When you talk about business, you talk about who is going to grind the hardest and how hard are they going to grind. And so that's what business is all about, like that. Who's willing to sacrifice, right? And so with college,
when you talk about business, you're talking about you got to have that hustle mentality. Like either you're gonna go out and grind,
right?
You know, or you're gonna get your butt in school. Because if you ain't got that type of work ethic to grind out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then school may be your best bet. But not to cut you off, I want to go into this right here, y'all. My man Sean says, as soon as college degrees became more accessible, the jobs reserved for certain people became more inaccessible. College was created for the wealthy. That fraternity no longer exists in 2021. That's why Ivy League schools are holding on to that infrastructure. Guy, Nick, I'm gonna let you respond to this. What do you think of this comment and everything right here from my man Sean?
As soon as degrees became more accessible, the jobs reserved for certain people became more inaccessible. Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's always that aspect of, the opportunity to hold people down. I mean, when you talk about why historically Black colleges and universities were created in the first place, right? They were created because there were those who were not getting the opportunity, so that the idea was to hold them back, to say, well, you don't have a college degree. So then, once the college degree was obtained, then it was you needed a master's.
Right.
Then once the master's was obtained, then it was, well, you don't have the right credentials and qualifications. So, I mean, the thing is, it's always going to be there. And while that is happening, there are also those who are trying to break that glass ceiling to allow others to get in, right? So I don't think college is the negative. It's just society as a whole. Society has to get better. Because if you talk about it, how many people are getting their opportunity to sit in front of Damon? You know what I mean? To be able to have Damon buy into their business. Even to get onto Shark Tank requires a whole lot. You know what I mean? And so he was able to successfully get on, and then Damon bought into it. But we've all watched Shark Tank. I mean, it's not like they're, going at a 90% rate of everybody that's coming onto the show, So it's no different. If you have an area that has 5,000 people that are going in and only 10% are getting, bought into, well, that's only 500 people. Right? Likewise, you get the same thing. If you only have a show where 50 people get on and they only doing 10%, it's only 5 people, and you'll be lucky if you get that on the Shark Tank episode.
Absolutely.
So it's hard to say which way it's going to go. Like the young man that you were talking about, he had a grind mentality. Well, when you in college, it's the same thing. You got to have a grind mentality. Guess what? I had 3 jobs and was going to school. My sister went to school. She had 3 jobs and she was going to school. Wasn't nobody helping us. We had to figure it out. It was a grind mentality. And now I am reaping the benefits of that. But at the same token, do I have student debt? Yeah, I got student debt. But there's also people who have taken out $20,000, $40,000, $50,000 business loans, and they've been able to pay them back because the business just didn't work out how it needed to. And then guess what? Because they didn't have a college degree, now they're working a job that doesn't even help them pay back that loan that they took out. So at the end of the day, it's all a shot. The point is, you take your shot in whatever avenue you think works best for you. I couldn't hustle like the young boy was hustling. You know what I'm saying? My hustle and my grind was a little bit different. It needed to be a little bit more structured. He took the freelance and he made it work. Look, I'm proud of the young boy do that, but we all got to be careful. Everything ain't for everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's a time for everything. There's a season for everything. And sometimes if you catch your right time and the right season, then you're going to move on to be blessed. Because listen, I know that whatever I was doing, Damon wasn't coming to see me. You know what I'm saying? But young boy got on, and I'm happy for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he got his shot and he made it happen. But that's not the reality for everybody. And so we got to be careful. You know, we can't put down one or the other. We got to look at both and say, it's an avenue. Which one do you choose to take? And you got to see it through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guy, I want to come to you with this. I'm going to read some comments from my Instagram page, from the post that I just put up here, right? So my man Tatted Press says this. He says, college is a waste of time and money unless you want to be a doctor, lawyer, etc. I've got a BBA in economics, landed me a job making $24,000 a year after taxes. He says, pathetic. Most can expect to make less than $50K before taxes. He says, horrible / failing system. Your response to that, my man?
I guess everybody's situation is a little different, right? Because my circumstance was, and my personal experience was, when I got out of school with a broadcast journalism degree, I got into doing television and entertainment, and I was making pretty good money. Right. See, my testimony is, like, I come from the streets, so I come from a hustle mentality from that aspect and from that end, right? So when I got into college, I found myself finding like a versatility, right? Being able to grind in that way and then go to school way. And I feel like it, for me, it wasn't a waste of time because I got the gig that I wanted right out of school, made real good money as a kid, pretty much. And when I wanted a master's degree, I went back. Not everybody's going to get accepted, you know, circumstances in life happen. So kind of getting, you know what I mean? Like everybody's circumstance and situation is a little bit different. But I think that for me, I can't say it was a waste of time for me. Now, as far as being able to pay back the loan with certain jobs, yes, I agree. A lot of time. So these days in 2021, what I see is there are jobs that are hiring younger people so that they can pay them nickels and dimes, right? Versus somebody more advanced that's going to demand more money. Like me and my master's degree, I go into a job, and because that demands a little more money, they may not choose me. They may choose somebody fresh out of college that's looking for nickels and dimes and can do that. So to them it may seem like that, but for me it just wasn't.
Wow. Awesome. I'm gonna go to another one right here. I'm gonna swing this one back to you, Nick. Says, who's this? This is your average Joe says, this is the sole reason why my kids have a 529 account set up and an IRA set up separately for themselves. If neither uses the 529 for college, then it'll get passed down to grandkids. But the IRA is an investment tool for them to use once they're old enough. Your response to that, bro?
I like the fact that, this person is thinking forward. What I would say to him is I would encourage him or her, whoever it is, to 529 in one sense, in that is still somewhat of a trap, right? Because now what you talk about is it has to be used for school. right? You can't use it for anything but school. So somebody in your family line has to go to school in order to use that 529. Now the IRA, yeah, I agree. That provides them with money that they can use. But what I would encourage that person to do is teach your kids how to use that money in that IRA, right? Those are some of the things that sometimes we fall back on. Your kid may not need a formal education, but if they're going to get an education, educate them on how to use that money that you're making available to them so that they can maximize on it. Because unfortunately, that's where some of the problem is, right? Is we're not afforded the understanding of how to use these tools that we're given, whether it's a degree or not. If you're going to hustle in the street, yeah, the reason why street hustle is a hustle that sometimes works is because you learn it young and you repeat the process over and over again. So how many people are teaching their kids about stocks and bonds and repeating it over and over again? I didn't learn it. I didn't learn it until I was 28. At that point, it didn't really make sense to me, and I was still trying to figure it out. So when you talk about providing wealth for your family and your children, I think it's an opportunity to consider how you provide wealth, because it's not just the dollars and cents in the bank account, it's the wealth of knowledge that they have, right? And if you can give them that, you can bless them with something that nobody can take away, because then they always know how to hustle no matter where they are, because they have the knowledge to be able to do so, And to the point that the other person made that about the broken system, I mean, I would agree. It is a broken system. It's not the education itself. It's the finances related to education. When you're talking about why are you paying $60,000 to $100,000 for a degree when the average position that you're going to get when you graduate with that degree is no more than $40,000. It is a broken system in that, your degree that you get and the amount of money that you pay for it should not be worth more than the average that you can get for that job position coming out, because nobody's paying you $100,000 when you come out of school. I don't care how much experience you have. They're not giving you a six-figure salary. So your education should not be six figures. But for some reason, the educational system has gone so far that everybody's charging you six-figure amounts or close to it. I remember when I was going to school, it cost about $35,000, $40,000. Right. By the time I left school, it was $60,000. Well, the average job when I was getting out of school was $45,000. So even if you talk about how does that make dollars and cents, in that when am I actually going to be able to pay back $60,000 when I'm only making $45,000? Then now I'm in the system for 30, 40 years. And if you start to do the math with that, after I pay all of my living expenses, I'm still not able to pay back $60,000, because now you're talking about, okay, even if I take out $1,000 a year, well, if I'm only making $40,000, where am I living? What am I doing to be able to take out $1,000 a year and just say that's going in?
Too.
And that's before interest, exactly, because we ain't talking about the interest that they charging on it. So it is a broken system that needs to be fixed. But it isn't education that's the problem. It's the financing behind it. And we've got to find a way to fix it. But, again, people aren't really interested in finding a solution to it because, it doesn't help their pockets. So,
I think honestly, I feel like a lot of this comes down to guidance. I think that a lot of it comes down to, this is a case by case basis type of thing, right? Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Let's just be honest. Okay. Somebody's got to work. Somebody's got to, you're going to own a business. Okay. Well, who's going to work inside the business? Somebody's got to work. Somebody's going to have some form of a trade of education some way, somehow, in order for that business to function the way it's supposed to go. But I really think that it comes down to educating our kids and guiding them in the right path, and having those open conversations with our kids, right? Having these open conversations like, okay, listen, you're a junior in high school, you're a senior in high school, you've got this coming up in about 24 months where you've got to make a decision on what you want to do moving forward with your life. Because like you said, Nick, you're just not going to sit here. So Nana is about to graduate high school. So we're like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Right? She doesn't want to go to school. She doesn't want to do that. Okay. So, all right, cool. Well, what are you passionate about? Start to have those conversations with your kids. What problems do you want to solve in the world? What are you interested in? And then, like, as a parent, I feel that you'll be able to find a way to kind of steer your kid in the right direction where, hey, listen, maybe there's someone in high school that you went to high school with that can possibly help your kid and guide them in the right direction, because they may be in this particular field. If they don't want to necessarily go to school, they can do this. So for Nana, for example, she wants to be a flight attendant. And the reason why she wants to be a flight attendant is because she wants to travel. So when she was at work, her manager said, well, if you want to travel, well, have you ever thought about being a flight attendant? And then she looked into it. She thought it was awesome, thought it was a cool job to start out. And it is a really cool job to start out. You get to travel the world. You get to kind of learn, how to be an adult, like very, very quickly, right? And although it may not be the ideal job, like you're not making $100,000 out the gate or nothing like that, but you get to test it out for a couple years, you to see if you really, really like it or not. And at the same time, you get to learn some really good life skills, I feel. So my suggestion would be to anyone that's watching this, if your kid is having trouble figuring out whether they want to go to school or not, or what they want to do, I would suggest take 2 years in something that they're interested in. See if that's what they really want to do, because therefore they'll develop some form of life skills. I'm not talking about working at a fast food joint. I'm talking about actually going out and finding a legit job that you don't necessarily need a college degree for, but it's a professional setting that can actually help you look in the way that you want to go. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What I would say to add to that, right? Mm-hmm. I think parents and adults all over the place, and I'm talking to everybody that's listening or may watch this at some point, cut your kids some slack.
Yes, sir.
At 18 years old, did you know what you were going to be doing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at 18, we expect all these kids to be like, you need to know what school you're going to. You need to know what degree you're going to get. You need to, come on, like, calm down.
Right.
Calm down. Like, at 18, you got to, what you doing? Because you ain't going to be staying at my house. Why? If we're all honest about it, right? None of us really understood what we were doing with our lives until maybe we got close to 30. Right. Exactly. But we want these kids to figure it out at 18 and make a decision. Why? Because we're just tired of being parents. We're tired of taking care of them. We're tired of teaching them. We're tired of trying to help them out, as opposed to, listen, if you still need tutelage, if you still need help, if you still need me to help guide you to the point that you just made, Kenny, I'm going to give you some time to figure out what it is that you want to do. And if it's working for you, great. If it's not working for you, come back. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's figure out what it is that we need to do, because guess what? I probably didn't really get settled into what I was doing until I got to maybe like 40. So I can't expect you at 18 to have all the answers and be like, I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I'm leaving your house. I'm never coming back again. Listen, you need a meal? Come on home. Dad's got you. We gonna work it out. We gonna figure it out. You tried the job. It ain't work out. Listen, tell Nana, if the flight attendant thing don't work out, come back on home. Let's figure out what the next thing is. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, but for some reason, it's almost like parents are just like, nope. Once you leave my house, that's it. Once you get to college, you got to figure it all out. After you graduate, you better know what you're doing. Yo, the best advice that I ever got was when I was actually working. I was interning. This guy that worked there, he told me, he said, Joe, what you end up doing in your career is not going to be what you started in. And he said, it's okay. He told me, he was like, it's okay. He said, follow the path that leads you. Don't try to force it because you're just like, he was like, nobody told you what kind of decision you really needed to make at 18. So you made the best decision that was in front of you at 18. That can't tie you down until you turn 65. Like, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we do. And so if we do better, we can't then keep looking at the system, because part of the reason why the system is the way that it is because we as people aren't willing to provide our children with the full support that they need. We want to support them until we can get them off of our hands and then say, all right, system, you take care of them from here on out. No, be a parent. You don't like the way the system is? Be a parent, do what you got to do, and don't let the system ruin your kids, because that's what it'll do.
True.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, look, I feel like this is a never-ending process until you find your purpose in life, right? That's why at 14, my daughter, at 8, my daughter wanted to be a teacher. At 14, my daughter wants to be a pediatrician. At 17, 18, she may not even want to go to school. So you know what you know it's a journey, right? Life is a journey to find purpose. And I think even though I got out with a degree in broadcast journalism and did television for a little while, I ended up in youth development, and then I ended up getting a master's in public administration and dealing with community mentoring, inspiring, encouraging. That's purpose, right? That's purpose for me at this point in my life. And so I'll continue to grow and evolve and change, and then maybe down the line it'll be something else. But I think it's a never ending journey. And I'll be honest, the school loans, man, are they ever gonna still be there? Because it's just an immense amount of money for and I don't want to say like little kickback, but it's immense amount of money for what types of jobs are hiring for the money they are hiring for. You know, it's just not, they don't allow for us to have much of a choice. Right?
And you know, so I hear you guys, you know, and when you talk about a journey, like for me, I started off going to college. I went to community college, and I was actually paying for my own tuition, you know, at that point. And I looked at it and I said, you know what, this is not what I really want to do. My man Bryce knocked on my door, said, hey, you want to dance? I said, you know what, I do want to dance. Let's go. I didn't know where that was going to take me, where that was going to lead me, but dance led me to Japan. Dance took me to Bulgaria. Dance took me to Italy. Dance took me around the world, where I was able to use this tool that I learned, and I connected with so many people in a different way. Dance even provided me a platform to learn how to do public speaking in a public setting, you know what I'm saying, that I didn't necessarily have to pay for, but I got paid for to do it, right? And then it led me into where now I'm a leadership coach. Now I'm taking everything that I've learned over the course of 20 years of dance and putting it into, you know, speaking and teaching and motivating and inspiring people all over the world. So listen, guys, like everywhere, you guys are absolutely right when it comes to the journey of it. This is what life is about. It's about the journey. Like it's about really like figuring out what it is that you're really here for. What are you supposed to do? Like college is cool, and going into a professional setting, that's cool too. But I believe my man Andy Epstein said on LinkedIn yesterday, he said, listen, he encourages people to follow their dreams.
Right.
Follow your dream, because the reality is if we go to the graveyard, it's billions and trillions of dollars wasted because people didn't find their dream. People didn't follow the dream that they were supposed to. They didn't do what it is that they were called to do. They went ahead and did what a system told them to do, right? Versus you figuring out like, you know what, I want to do this because I want to impact people in this particular community, in this particular genre. Like I want to impact people here, and that's what I want to do. We got to understand that at the end of the day, this is all about serving. So where do you really want to serve in life? Where you really want to go in life, right? And if a job in computer science or engineering or in youth or in dance or wherever it is leads you to where those people that you're called to serve, do that. Do that and focus on that. Don't get so caught up in the limelight of what everybody is doing on Instagram and what everybody's doing on Facebook. Listen, everybody can't be Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. Like everybody can't be Jay-Z. Everybody can't be Elon Musk. Right? Like let's keep it funky, y'all. Like not everybody can be a millionaire, yo. Not everybody can do this. Some people going to have to be cool with that little $200K that you getting like every year. You're going to have to be straight with that. And that's good money. Like you know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying, guys, as we end this off, like follow your dream. Don't let anyone sit here and tell you that you can't, that you won't, that you shouldn't, and say, listen, this is the way that you gotta go and that you have to do this. Listen, man, follow your dream, follow that intuition. What does that thing say? Whatever the problem that you want to fix in the world, find it. Whatever that problem is, you go out and solve it, and you figure out a way to get there because you want to solve that particular problem. There's people that are motivational speakers, y'all, that don't speak to companies. They speak to people that are in adoption agencies because they were adopted.
Right.
So,
Right.
so their niche is, yo, I was adopted. I want to speak to people that were in these homes like I was
Just
in
like
these
me.
homes,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
just like
Right.
me. And they're doing fine. They're doing well. That's what I'm talking about. When you find that problem that you want to fix in the world, then you're living out true purpose, yo. That's when you live out true purpose.
And here's the other thing about it, right?
Yeah.
The other thing about it is sometimes going to college, going to university does help you figure that out.
Right.
Because again, at 18, you may not really know. So when you go to college, guess what happens? Your world opens up. There are people who have been sheltered in different ways, right?
Yeah.
There are people who have not had life experiences. You know what I'm saying? I lived in the Bronx. I met 1,000,001 Latinos, Puerto Ricans, etc. Right? But I never met anybody from the Philippines until I got to school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and when I got to school, there were people who were just like, I never met a Puerto Rican before. I'm like, what you mean you never met a Puerto Rican? Like, what you mean? Like, I got like 100 of them, you know what I'm saying? At home. Like, what you saying?
Yes, provides exposure, definitely.
But it provides that exposure. So sometimes what happens is you get cultured when you go to school. And sometimes that culture that you get helps you to figure out what it is that's going on, right? And once you figure out what life is like, you then may find your calling in what your purpose is and what it is that you want to solve, right?
Yes.
And guess what? I understand, the idea of $100,000 and I got to pay it back. Yes, I'm paying back my student loans, but guess what? I'm perfectly happy. I'm taking care of my family. I'm good to go. So if the worst that I got to do is I got to pay back a loan that is not really the thing that I love, but do I like writing that check every month? No, I don't like writing that check every month, but I do like the money that I do receive. I like that I'm able to take care of my family and I'm happy. So sometimes we major on minor things when we don't need to. Because society says it has to be one or the other. Find the one that works for you. Maybe you want to go to community college, try it out for 2 years where it doesn't cost you a whole lot, and then you determine whether you like it or not and go from there. One of my cousins, she did that. She started at community college. She was playing ball. She got moved up. Now she's at a 4-year university. She got moved up for playing ball. Ain't no shame in that. She's doing great. You know what I'm saying? She didn't start out at a 4-year university with a full scholarship and everything else like that. But now she's playing NCAA. You want to catch her on ESPN? You can. It is what it is. It's a different path to get there. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. And so we just got to understand that everybody has a different path. Let yours be yours. Don't let so many people dictate to you what's great or what's bad. If you get that $10,000 business loan, take it. If you got to pay that $100,000 student loan, take it. If it's your path, embrace the path while you on it. Because there's a lot of things that you can learn in college that some people don't learn when they don't go to college.
Right.
That's the truth.
Let me echo something that both of y'all pretty much hinted at, right?
60 seconds, guy. 60 seconds.
I got you. Passion leads to purpose, right? So I'm speaking to the youth that doesn't know what lies ahead, or the person that has that $100,000 loan their school loan that they still have to pay back, right? So if you want to figure out what to do and why and how to do it, find out what you're passionate about. Passion leads to purpose, right? So if I have $100,000 loan, I have a regular job paying me $50,000, $40,000 a year, then you need to generate another form of income. And that other form of income should come from something you are passionate about, because it just doesn't seem like work after that, right? Passion leads to purpose. So
there it is. There it is. Awesome. 60 seconds, Nick. 60 seconds. Last thing you want to leave with them.
Man, I don't have a whole lot to say. All I got to say is, listen, follow the path that works best for you. Don't let so many people dictate to you which way you're supposed to go. If you feel like you want to learn something from school and you want that college experience, go after it. It might be for you, it might not. Kenny did it. It wasn't for him. He left it. Kenny's good. I did it. It worked for me. I loved it. Honestly, if I can go back to college, I just might, because I just enjoyed it that much and I had such a good time. You know what I'm saying? But follow your path. And honestly, I'll echo what Guy said. You know what I'm saying? Your passion is going to lead to your purpose in life. You know what I'm saying? So let your passion drive you whichever way it is. Don't be stupid. Don't be foolish. You know what I'm saying? Don't be reckless. Don't do that. But allow it to help drive the path that you want to get to. And if you feel like being an entrepreneur is starting from the bottom and working your way up, do that. If you want to go to school and see if you can get a little bit ahead, do that. If you want to not go to school, take a gap year, figure out what you're doing, do that, but just make sure you're doing something. Don't be lazy and don't be foolish.
That's right.
Amen. Amen. And here's the last thing, y'all. Listen, at the end of the day, yesterday is gone. Tomorrow worry about itself, and today is all you got, right?
That's right.
So if today is all you got, figure out how you're going to impact today the best way you know how. Okay. Right. I want you guys to start visualizing what it is that you really want in life.
Right.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Where do you see yourself? Because the thing is that when you go throughout life, you're going to get flustered. You're going to get distracted. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be adversity. But as long as you have that vision in place, as long as you see where you're actually going, you'll never be thrown off your map. You may go through a few storms in life. You may go through some bumps in the road, and there may be some people that sit there and try and tear you down. But as long as you keep your eye on the prize, your eye on what you want your life to look like 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, you know, then you'll never really be able to get thrown off the path, because therefore you see the vision, and once you see it, you can achieve it. I said, once you see it, you can actually achieve it and go to that next level, guys. All right. Yeah. So I want you guys, I don't care how old you are either. Okay. You can be 60 years old and you can still start your business. There's people that are 60 years old that started a business, or 60 years old that went into college. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty about college, is that it's all ages or whatever once you graduate high school, you know? So go in and do what it is that you want to do. Whatever it is, make sure you are serving. All right. Make sure you are serving somebody, and you are taking care of your family, taking care of that priority, and then go out and serve the way that you were called to serve. Amen. So listen, y'all. Listen, guys, I had a super, super awesome time with y'all tonight. All right. Next week, we are back at it. Next week, back at it, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kenneth Allen Thomas Show. All right. Listen, guys, share this live, share this video, share this podcast, wherever you're listening to it. If you listen on Apple Music, you listen on Google, you listen on Anchor, Spotify, wherever, share it up. All right. Comment. Let us know your thoughts. If you've got a crazy story, a dope story, your faith story, whatever your story is, if you got a story to tell, send it in to us. Okay. Send it to me at Kenny@KennethAllenThomas.com. Kenny@KennethAllenThomas.com. If you want to come on the show, you want to share your story with us, we will take a look at your story. Email me, send it in to me. Let me know what it is that you want to share, and we will get you on the show. All right. With that being said, have an awesome weekend. All right. I love you guys. We'll talk to y'all later. When we change the mind, we change the game. Peace.
Peace.
All of that.
Have a good one.